Alabama has seen a steep increase in forest and wildfires, and that could be the result of the number of forestry agents our state has out in the field. Joining me now to talk about wildfires and how budgeting is affecting the way they do business is Brad Lang of the Alabama Forestry Commission.
Thanks, Dan.
Brad, thank you for being with us today. And you and I have been passing some emails back and forth, and we've talked on the phone a little bit about it. We've seen a significant increase in wildfires just since January, correct?
That's right. Well, actually, even since the last 7 days, we've actually seen a big spike, and it's mostly due to the weather. This is the beginning of our first fire season of the year. Comes in February, usually runs through May. And we have seen quite a bit of acres go up in the last just 4 days alone. We've had 9,300 acres burn across the state. So it has gone up, and we are seeing a lot more difficulty in fighting these fires, mostly due to the weather. We're getting that first warm spring up, I guess you'd call it, with low humidities, and weather drives that a lot, and the intensity of the fires. So we're seeing more fires, harder to control fires, and having a difficult time doing it.
And unfortunately, you guys are protecting, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the material that you sent me, 29.6 million acres of timberland, forest land in the state of Alabama, and you're mining all that now with fewer hands than before.
That's right. Last year we did go under a staff reduction to try to help out with the budget. We went under 15% proration this year. On top of that, we thought were doing something fiscally responsible as far as reducing our staff, trying to accommodate the budget shortfalls that we are having in the general fund. And so we did go through a layoff last year, reduced our staff by about 21%, which was significant down to about 263 employees total across the state, and it's about 165 wildfire fighters across the state. So we have seen a drop in wildfire fighters, which has caused an issue with us a little bit because our area has broadened. And just any typical economic curve you might see is when our employees go down, our fire goes up. It's just we're having to cover much more acreage, and it's getting really difficult to do. So we try to recover from that best we can. What we don't want to do is next year we're looking at a possible 20% reduction again. And we want to try to avoid that at all costs, and asking people to help out where they can with us in support of our budget and what we do, because that is our primary job. And number one is protect the citizens of Alabama and the forest land. I think it's 22 million acres. 22 million. 22 million forested acres across the state. And number two is keep our forests healthy and productive. So we want to do that, and we want to hold our funding where it's at. If we can hold our funding next year to where it's at this year, we can sustain what we've got. Otherwise, we're going to have to go through another layoff, and which we were about the only state agency funded by the general fund that went through a layoff last year and reduced our staff by about 70 folks. So that is something we want to avoid, and we must avoid to be able to keep that protection for the landowners.
I understand. Hopefully that wasn't a fire that just somebody's landing on fire right now. Brad, we're out of time. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
There's a lot of great information that you can pick up if you're a landowner. You can find it at the Forestry Commission. Just run down there. They've got some great pamphlets about how you can protect your land right now, since the Forestry Commission's having these problems with layoffs and budget reductions and such. You can find out more about them online as well at forestry.state.al.us, or you can call 205-333-1590.